attention, Mr. Goodell, Mr. Commish, stop doing this. If you can honestly explain to me the catch rule in layman's terms, you're like IQ of 150, because it is physically impossible apparently for a NFL game to go throughout its entirety without something being in the air about, well, I don't know, maybe.
Freaking BS. That's what this is.
In the case of the Eagles touchdown, the one Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was
that was totally a touchdown. That was totally a touchdown.
So the reason why is because he made the catch, turned, and at that point he's a receiver.
Yeah.
So, or he's a runner at that point. So at that point, it does not matter what happens to the ball after it crosses the goal line. If it is in his hand, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, that's the end of the story.
Just because he turned.
However long ago it was, the Steelers, I can't remember that tight end's name off the top of my head, catches the ball on the goal line, falls, the ball comes out, and they're like, did not maintain possession through the catch, because at that point he was still a receiver, and
he just didn't turn or something?
So he catches the ball, crosses the goal line, like in the process of catching the ball, but whenever he hits the ground, he drops it. And so they're like, that's not a catch because you did not maintain possession of the ball through the ground, through contact with the ground. So what everyone in America is saying is the dude caught the ball, and for 1 second he was in the end zone with both feet on the ground with the ball in his hands before he hit the ground.
Yep.
That's a touchdown.
That is a touchdown.
And it should be, at least in every sense of the word, because if Odell goes up, catches a one-handed jam like only he can, comes down with 2 toes in, and then just like bounces the ball off the cameraman, it does not matter. For that split second, he had 2 toes in and the ball. It's like,
that's possession.
That's a touchdown because he's holding the ball. But apparently, because this is the no fun league, if you are not holding the ball the entire time perfectly through the catch, like if you don't like wrap a chain and a master lock around it, then it's not a touchdown. And it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's bullcrap. And it ruined the freaking Super Bowl. Because I know you already mentioned it, but there were like 2 different instances where they're like, I don't know if this is a catch or not. Like, we better go back and look at this for 15 freaking minutes.
And they did do the right thing. They ruled it a touchdown. So automatically it gets reviewed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think everything gets reviewed in the Super Bowl anyways. Right. Because they're like, oh man, media.
We can't screw this up.
We can do some commercials right now while we're reviewing this play.
Yeah.
Mm.
But they made the right call. Called it a touchdown so they could review it. If they wouldn't have called it a touchdown, you would have seen a challenge flag more than likely. And I don't think there would have been enough evidence to have overturned it, because then they would have had to have made the argument that he was a runner, not vice versa.
Yeah, which is weird. But
It's
it
a
also
weird
means
rule.
it also means that it has to be a split second call, because if they said it was incomplete in the beginning,
they need to make a rule of number of steps while ball isn't like in control, or number of toes that have to be down, or anything like that. Like,
why is it not what you guys say? You have control of the ball with 2 feet.
Because I would make the argument that if I jump over the goal line without the ball, catch the ball midair, and then the first thing that hits the ground is my hands and I drop the ball, I would see them being like, no, you did not catch that ball ever.
Yes.
But in that moment, if I somehow can twist my body and put both feet down and then the ball comes out, then
it's also 2 elbows, right?
Or 2 elbows, or
like
butts, or anything.
Feet, knee, or elbows.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, if you catch the ball in the end zone and like you go knee down, and then like your next foot or the knee is out of bounds, it's still a touchdown.
Right.
Because like a knee is more important than a foot. Like
if you catch the football, if you come down and you catch the football and your toes are in and your heels are not, it's a touchdown because your toes touched first.
Yeah.
Right.
If you come out and your heels hit the ground but your toes are out of bounds, it's out of bounds.
Yeah.
It's the lamest thing ever.
That should still be a touchdown, because as long as that part of your body is in the field of play, you should get a touchdown or whatever yardage.
The only other reason why I say that diving into the end zone and catching the ball at any given point in the end zone is a touchdown, the reason I'm saying that shouldn't be the rule is because unless you want ridiculous pass interference calls, you're literally just going to have a guy run into the end zone throw a bomb, and as long as he jumps from out of the end zone, nobody can touch him.
Mhm.
They either have to have a better play on the ball, or as soon as he catches it, you have to smack the ball out of his hands. It would just make things really difficult.
Right.
What?
Like if you're on like the 10, and you just have a wide receiver run like dead sprint and just leap from like the 2, and you actually hit that little window while he's in the air, that's like really impossible to guard.
No, it's also really hard to catch a ball while you're
Right. Well, I'm saying that 9 times out of 10, even if you get your hands on that, the ground is gonna make you drop that.
Right.
But you're still not gonna have 2 feet in bounds.
And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying if they made it to where if you're just in the end zone at all, any way, even if you're not touching the ground,
Right.
you can't make that a touchdown for that purpose.
Yeah. Well, and it used to be the rule that the ground can't cause a fumble.
Right.
Like, if
Still
you
is,
have
isn't
possession of the ball, well, apparently it's not.
For
Well,
catches,
they
it's
just-
different. For fumbles, it's always been that way.
Right, but I mean, like, the ground cannot cause the ball to be released once you have possession.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, like, in the
Once
Super
you
Bowl,
become
like,
a runner.
right, so, like, for example, in the Super Bowl, like, Zach Ertz caught that football on the 3-yard line or whatever. He, like, catches it, turns, takes 2 steps, and jumps to the end zone. And when he hits, like, the ball hits the ground, like, he's holding the ball in
After
his
he's
hands,
crossed the plane.
the ball hits the ground of the end zone, like on the end zone side of the plane.
Mm-hmm.
So as the instant that ball crossed the end zone, it was a touchdown.
Yeah.
But they were arguing that when he jumped, the ball hit the ground and came out of his hand, and so it was a fumble. And it was the most ridiculous argument I had ever heard. They were like, the ball came loose, and it's like he had possession of the ball, he made a football move, he was a runner, no longer a receiver. The ball cannot cause a fumble. Like, it cannot cause him to lose possession of the ball. It's like along the same lines as if you fumble the ball and the ball rolls down 20 yards and then goes out of bounds. That ball is out 20 yards on down the field. Like, it's not out where you lost possession of the ball. Like,
I started this
so
out with,
stupid.
please explain the rule, and that's literally what we've been doing for 30 minutes. But what we're getting at is this rule is ridiculously complicated. Like,
They need to simplify it.
there is no cut and dry way of looking at every catch, and that's the problem. Like,
No.
I don't know if there ever will be.
I think they can overanalyze it though, because there's a nice little sweet spot in all sports between, like, hey, we want to make sure we're not getting gypped because an official just didn't look at the play right, and oh, if we dissect this down to the most microscopic level, sure, he might have not had possession for a nanosecond. Like, we don't want that. You got to
Right.
find the happy medium, and the NFL hasn't found the happy medium yet. They were at
Someone's
where
always upset.
right, and I'm
Yeah.
upset right now.
This is $1 million game. I mean, that's understandable.
Yeah. But see, like, the thing that pisses me off more than anything, I mean, besides the fact that they'll, like, overturn stuff that it's like, how on earth is that not a catch, is it completely slows down the game. Like, it will kill the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
So they can sit there and stare at the same 30-second clip for 10, 15 minutes until the official walks out and goes, I don't know. Just
the dude in New
the way
York
we
said
called
it's a
it-
catch, don't shoot me on the way out.
Yeah. Pretty much.
No, you're right.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. Yeah, so it's stupid. You need to fix the catch rule. Just make it simpler. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure the speed of play is kept at a reasonable level. Don't shut me down every time someone who's not Tom Brady throws a touchdown pass.
Gosh.
That's all I want.
Sorry, Tom.
Rip.